Imagine a world where the environmental impact of your meal matters as much as the taste. When we talk about livestock farming, the narrative often centers on deforested lands and resource-intensive systems. But does this perspective tell the whole story? There's a profound difference between pasture-based and industrial livestock farming, particularly in how they use land and resources. To truly understand the stakes, we need to dig deeper and challenge the assumptions shaping this conversation. A common criticism of livestock farming is its supposed monopolization of vast land areas, with the argument that this land could be repurposed for more sustainable uses. However, this claim oversimplifies reality. In pasture-based farming, livestock graze on land unsuitable for crops, maintaining healthy ecosystems. Their grazing prevents overgrowth, promotes biodiversity, and enhances soil fertility by cycling nutrients back into the earth naturally. Far from depleting resources, these systems create a regenerative cycle that works in harmony with the environment. In contrast, monocropping, the practice of growing a single crop repeatedly on the same land, strips the soil of nutrients, requiring synthetic fertilizers and damaging long-term soil health. The land use narrative changes dramatically when you consider these distinctions. Industrial livestock farming, however, presents different challenges. These systems depend on feed crops, like corn and soy, which demand significant resources. Yet, much of this feed comes from byproducts of crops grown primarily for human consumption or industrial purposes. For example, corn husks and soybean meal, which might otherwise be discarded, are repurposed as animal feed, reducing waste. Still, the environmental strain from practices like monocropping remains significant. Soil depletion, increased pesticide use, and extensive irrigation reflect the broader issues with how crops are grown, rather than with the animals that consume them. Water usage is another frequently cited issue in livestock farming. It's often labelled as water hungry, but this claim requires clarification. In pasture-based systems, animals drink water and return it to the environment through natural processes like urination and sweating, participating in the water cycle. This differs fundamentally from large-scale crop farming, where water drawn for irrigation doesn't always return to the ecosystem in a usable form. While industrial livestock systems use water for cleaning and processing, this usage is distinct from the intensive irrigation required for feed crop production. The assertion that livestock farming wastes water overlooks the natural, cyclical interactions between animals and this resource. Greenhouse gas emissions are another point of contention, particularly methane from cows. Methane emissions are part of the biogenic carbon cycle, a natural process where methane breaks down into CO2 over about a decade and is reabsorbed by plants. This process differs significantly from fossil fuel emissions, which introduce long-lasting carbon into the atmosphere. Industrial farming, especially related to feed crop production, does contribute emissions, but these should be seen as part of the crop farming system, rather than solely attributed to livestock. The distinction between methane's role in a natural cycle and carbon from fossil fuels is crucial to understanding livestock's environmental impact. Energy use presents yet another layer of complexity. Unlike crop farming, which relies on tractors, irrigation systems, and the production of fertilizers and pesticides, pasture-based livestock farming requires minimal external energy. Animals graze naturally, living off the land without human-made energy inputs. In contrast, lab-grown meat depends on bioreactors, sterile environments, and continuous energy supplies to grow and process cultured cells. While lab-grown meat is a technological marvel, its energy demands often exceed those of traditional livestock grazing, raising questions about its long-term sustainability. This leads to an essential question: are we focusing on the wrong problem? The push for lab-grown meat often arises from misconceptions about livestock farming's environmental impact. These assumptions conflate industrial systems with sustainable pasture-based practices. The reality is that pasture-based farming closely aligns with natural processes, enhancing ecosystems rather than depleting them. Meanwhile, industrial farming's environmental challenges often stem from the crop production systems it relies on. By targeting livestock farming without addressing the broader issues of crop farming, we risk missing the bigger picture. Lab-grown meat is undoubtedly an exciting innovation, but its environmental benefits depend heavily on how resources are managed. Pasture-based farming shows that livestock can coexist with and even benefit the environment, challenging blanket criticisms of animal agriculture. Instead of shifting problems from livestock to lab-grown alternatives, efforts should focus on improving crop farming practices and embracing sustainable agricultural methods that balance environmental needs with food production. As we consider the future of food, the question isn't just about innovation. It's about addressing the root causes of environmental strain. Lab-grown meat may play a role, but it's not the whole solution. By understanding the distinctions between pasture-based and industrial systems, we can focus on strategies that truly make a difference. The real challenge lies in rethinking how we produce food, ensuring our solutions are not only innovative, but also genuinely sustainable. Let's aim for a food system that works in harmony with the environment, benefiting both people and the planet for generations to come. Thank you for watching. If this perspective resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's continue exploring how we can build a truly sustainable future for food and agriculture.